everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mandy and I am a full-time reseller. Today I'm going to give just the basics on Poshmark shipping. So you might have just started selling on Poshmark and you're still a little confused on which boxes you can use, which ones you're supposed to be using, or there could be some information in here if you are a seasoned Poshmark seller. So I hope that I can answer any questions that you may have. My first piece of advice, this is probably one of the most important things, is to get yourself a scale. I got this from Amazon. You don't have to spend $1 million on them. They are fairly cheap. Just make sure you're getting something that's quality. Look at the reviews. If I would buy it again, I probably would get one that has the display on a different part of the actual piece, so it kind of goes off to the side. So if you have bigger boxes, you don't have to try and, see underneath. That's my only thought with that. Another important piece to shipping with Poshmark is knowing what your labels mean. So on Poshmark, you're only going to be shipping priority or ground advantage. So your priority labels are going to have the P right here. This is probably going to be the most used label that you will get, and then your ground advantage will have a G. You're only going to be using ground advantage if you're selling electronics that has some sort of battery in it, so something that gets charged, just because these can't go be shipped in an airplane, they have to go ground. So we'll start with the ground advantage just because I don't think, well, depending on what you're selling, you might not see this one as often. If you have a ground advantage label, you cannot use priority packaging. I will repeat that. You cannot use priority packaging. So that would be anything that says priority mail, these type of packages, this kind of box. Any of this you cannot use. For ground advantage, you can use your own poly mailers, you can use just plain brown boxes, you can reuse Amazon boxes if you have them, but you cannot use the priority packaging. So now if you have the priority, you can use the priority packaging. And on the bottom here, I'll probably put a screenshot so that it's bigger, but I'll just quick read it. It says Poshmark shippers are authorized to use all priority packaging, including flat rate and regional rate packaging, through zones of local and 1 through 8. So that is saying to you that you can use the flat rate packaging. I have seen some comments in Facebook groups about the post office saying, no, that's not okay, or having extra charges being put on there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from how I'm reading this, Poshmark has their own agreement with the post office, so that's why we have a set flat rate of shipping, and anything goes as long as it's under that 5 pounds. So this is saying that you can use the flat rate packaging. So now you might be saying, okay, so what is flat rate, what is not? So this box right here, this is a medium flat rate box. It'll say that right here. It also has small flat rate boxes. This is similar to like a VHS tape size. There is the padded flat rate envelopes, there's other smaller envelopes, there's bigger boxes that are flat rate, and they will always say flat rate. So when I use these, especially the bigger boxes, I will highlight on the bottom here where it says the flat rate so that there is not any issues. Now we'll look at some that are not flat rate. This is one of my favorite boxes to use. This is a shoe box, and that will say that. That says it right here next to, let's see if I can get it in there, next to the barcode shoebox. This is really nice. It fits, probably might be a little small for most shoe boxes, but to fit shoes that are not in a box, this is great. This is a 1097, so this is similar to like a cereal box size. I think there's a 1094, it's a little bit bigger than this one. This will just say mailing box right here. Another great one to use, this is a large shipping box, or a large mailing box right here. This you could fit some bigger coats. You can see the size here. Or if you have bundles, this is a good box to keep on hand. And then here's also just like a mailing envelope. This is kind of like almost like a waxy feel to it. These are supposed to be pretty durable. When I do use these, I always make sure to tape this, because I have gotten these when people have mailed them to me and they're wide open because this doesn't always stay. So I make sure to tape these. Some of these boxes also have their own little sticky stuff. I never trust this. I've gotten, like I said before, these type of boxes, the bigger ones, where they come to me and this is just, it's just like that. And I always make sure that I use my own tape to make sure that this is secure. So now this is another very, very important part of shipping on Poshmark. You can use all the priority things that I had just showed you. This you cannot, I repeat, cannot use are any of the Priority Express. So any of these that have this blue color and it says Express, they make boxes that look very similar to the Priority. Do not use this. If you use this packaging, more than likely either your buyer is going to have that they need to pay the additional fee, or it's going to get back charged to Poshmark, and then Poshmark's going to take that out of your fees, and it's going to be expensive because shipping express is expensive, and I'm sure there's going to be some sort of ding on your account for Poshmark. So I will repeat, do not use the blue ones. Now, all of this stuff is available to be shipped directly to your house on the USPS website. You can make an account. You can have as well, I think there are some limits of how much you can have sent to you. I would just suggest, getting what you think you need. You can always get more. I like to keep a variety of the different packagings here. I normally use these envelopes, these padded flat rates, and the shoe boxes probably the most out of anything. These supplies are also available at most post offices. They're not going to have potentially a lot available, but they should have some. So if you get into a bind and you need to just go quick pick something up and they have the open lobby, you're more than welcome to do so. I just wanted to throw in a quick little bit of advice. When you're shipping something, make sure that you're using the appropriate size box. I've had people send me hats, like trucker hats. You've seen me before, I like wearing hats. They've sent them in these type of boxes and jammed them in there. So once that's in there and that front piece is creased, like that is no longer the same condition that you sold that in. So if you're selling hats, I would suggest getting boxes like this. This is 7 by 7 by 7. It's the perfect size for a hat. Yes, you are spending a little bit more money, but if you are taking this as a business, it's good to have something like this. Or I suppose you could put it in one of the flat rate boxes. Just make sure that you're not cramming something in to make it fit. So another piece of advice that I have, before you list anything, make sure you know how to ship it. So if you have like some crazy lamp, you have to make sure that you have a box, you have another box for that box to go into, so you double box it if it is fragile, and that you have the packing materials to use to send it. You also have to keep in mind that that's going to cost you extra to use those materials. If you have fragile items, like let's say a coffee mug, these are a great thing to have around. These work for anything that's fragile. You can cut them open. This is just a pool noodle that I have cut down. I normally will look for the end of summer when these are like 25 cents for a pool noodle. You can cut these here and put this on the handle. That helps keep that sturdy. You can do the same thing if you have like a serving dish that has some sort of lip on the side. I always cut them in half, make sure that's on there. And then, bubble wrap, you can use these little air things. I have family and friends that keep these for me whenever they get packages. I also use these when I'm double boxing. So if you have a fragile dish, you have it all wrapped up and nice, you put it in one box. Then you're going to put that box in another box, and then I would suggest taking pool noodles, or I don't know if I trust these as much as a pool noodle just because this is pretty firm. You're going to put this around the box like this, that's inside that box, and then package it up and you should be good to go. That way that has a little bit more barrier on there, so if that box falls, the brunt of it is going to take from this, because this is what's hitting up against your first box that you put in there, if that makes sense. Okay, so I think we've kind of gone over the majority of the basics for just shipping. So now let's say you have a bundle of something that someone bought and it's over 5 pounds. What do you do then? I will put right here somewhere the chart of how much it's going to cost you. I'm going to look quick on my computer. Up to the 5 pounds, that's the free amount. And this is going to cost you, not the seller. You have to pay additional fees here. So definitely make sure you are weighing things before you're accepting bundle offers, before you are listing anything. Like I said before, You don't want to be putting a lot of heavy stuff on Poshmark because it's going to kill you in your profits. Okay, so if you are at 6 pounds, you have to pay an additional $4.50. 7 pounds is $9, 8 pounds is $13.50, 9 pounds is $18, and 10 is $22.50. Let's say you sold a bundle and somebody bundled, I don't even know how many pairs it would have to be, like 8 pairs of shoes. Okay, that's probably going to be close to 10 pounds. That means that you are going to be paying $22.50 out of your profit to pay for that additional label. So let's say that happens and that's what you're going to do. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go into your sales, you're going to click that sale, and then down below I think it should be get a new shipping label, and then something should be in there that says that you need to get one because of the weight. So then that will get charged to you. So if this does happen to you and somebody bundles a bunch of stuff, I would suggest, I don't know, I've never done it, I've never had this happen to me, thankfully, that you would contact them and ask them if it would be okay to split the sale. So if you had those 8 pairs of shoes, okay, let's just say, and you told them, here's the deal, you know, it's going to cost me $20, $20+ in shipping. Would it be okay if I canceled this sale, split them in 2? You'd have to put these in bundles for them again, but you would say, okay, you pay the shipping on the first one, and then I will pay free shipping for you on the second one. That way you're only paying the $7.90 or whatever it is for shipping rather than paying $22, and they're still only paying that $7 or whatever it is for shipping. They're just going to have 2 different packages. So you're paying for one and they're paying for one. I've heard that that goes well sometimes, and I've heard other people say, yeah, you know, that's fine. And then you bundle the 2 and then they never come back to pay for it, or people are upset that you have to cancel the order and they have to rerun it. So I guess that's up to you on how you want to handle those things. That's why getting bigger bundles on Poshmark is really just more of a headache than anything good. This next part I don't know much about. I've just kind of seen on Facebook, and I'm looking at the Poshmark website right now. If you are a live seller, this is they've had huge headaches with this just because, you know, they want you to live sell and they want you to sell a lot of stuff. Well, if people are buying a bunch of stuff, it's very easy to get over that 5 pound mark. So if you are live selling, I don't know if it is the same with the silent shows or if it has to be a true live show, but from what I'm seeing and reading right now, it is showing me that there must be some way once you hit 5 pounds that you have to go in and generate an additional label. And I believe it's saying right now the additional shipping label cost will be deducted from the seller's earning. So whoever, that would be you, it would be deducted, but I believe you can do it into the 5 pounds. So you're still only paying $7 as opposed to having to put it all in one big box and go that way. So you would just weigh everything out and then put them in, you know, boxes of 5 pounds each, and then you'd print out additional labels of $7 per box. I believe that's what it's saying. I've never done it myself, but I think that that is what that's saying. I'm trying to think of any other small tips that I have for shipping on Poshmark. I guess one would be if you are super close to that 5 pound mark and you're shipping in a box, one of my suggestions is maybe take a look at how you have the things packaged. If everything is wrapped individually or in individual bags, maybe try taking some of that out. You know, this obviously is going to be if you're like ounces under or over 5 pounds. That's something you can try doing to get the weight down. Also, I have seen people that will take like the 2 flaps here and cut that off completely so that you are just then closing the box with these 2, and then these would be gone. That would get rid of some weight. You could also look at shipping in a big poly mailer if you have those available as opposed to a box, but I would be a little leery on that because you don't want to like jam those super full. I've gotten those ripped to me. I've had big poly mailers come to me. We'll just pretend like this is a really big one, and it is literally sitting on my doorstep, and this is not even attached to this anymore, just like this. So definitely make sure that when you are sending something, it's secure. You want your customer to be happy. You don't want to run the risk of it getting caught in the machines when it's getting processed through USPS. You don't want it to be easy for someone to steal it off someone's porch. Do not, if you have, let's say you have a pair of Nikes and you have the box, please don't send it just like that. You know, if you just slap this label on a pair of like the actual Nike box, if those people were giving that as a gift or they were reselling it or something, now they have to deal with trying to get this label off. The box is going to be more than likely dirty and damaged. So make sure you put the box within a box. I guess the main thing is ship it how you'd want to receive it. So just make sure that it is going to get there safe, that it's not going to be damaged. And then you can be creative or unique in however you want to package your items. I know some people like to wrap it in paper. Some people put it in like Ziploc bags. Some people wrap it in tissue paper. Some people give gifts. Some people wrap it in scarves. Some people, I mean, there's so many different ways that you can do your shipping, and that's all going to be based on how your personal preference is. I would suggest stay away from anything that's going to leave glitter. I've had that happen to me before. I don't know, it was like some weird, cheaper tissue paper that had glitter on it, and there was glitter all over my stuff. I wasn't very happy with that. If you are doing free gifts, make sure that they are something somebody's gonna want, I guess. I personally don't put in free gifts. I just don't want to run the risk of someone getting something they don't want. They could potentially open a case because it's not how the item was originally described. If you're adding additional things, I don't want to make waste for someone if they get something and now they have to do something with it. So I just stay away from the gifts. I wrap everything in plastic bags. I know not everybody is super keen on that. I don't love the idea of all the plastic that I use, but I also have gotten quite a few items shipped to me that either use lighter tissue paper, and I live in Wisconsin, so if something doesn't fit in my mailbox, it's going to be left outside my house. Probably, 4 months out of the year we have snow. So I've had things that came to me, the packaging was ripped, we're sitting maybe just in a box and it's sitting in, wet snow, and now the stuff has been sitting there and it's wet. So that's just something that I have in the back of my head, that I just want to make sure that my customer is getting the thing that they ordered safely and securely. If you have kiosk systems at your post office, so if it's on a Sunday or after hours or even during the time that they're open and you don't want to wait in line to get your packages scanned, I use this. On Poshmark, I've noticed that it does start tracking. I believe Mercari it does too. And I just thought of something that I don't think I put in for the priority mailing. You don't have to use priority boxes or the envelopes. You can use, your own brown boxes or your own poly mailers if you want. They do make these stickers that you can also get on the website. If I am using a box because maybe I have like some weird longer boots or something that don't fit in any of these boxes, I will put a couple of these stickers on that box. I am not exactly sure how it works once they start sorting through the things. At the post office, I would imagine most of it is done with robots. I'm not really sure, but I just put that on there just so it is visible that that is a priority package. I think that is all the information I have for you. I feel like I might have been a little scattered and kind of all over the place. So if you do have any additional questions, please put them in the comments below. I will do my best to answer them. Or if there's anything you think I missed, put those in the comments as well. I think people enjoy reading that. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give me a like as you leave. It really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. I will see you on the next video. Bye.